Good morning. It is Sunday. We are drafting best ball teams all day long for $3 million. The sun is shining. Let's get started.
Down the left field line. Is it enough? Gone! There it is! 62! Touch first, Mark!
Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday. It is a perfect day here in St. Louis. I don't know how you guys have your weather going on out there. Just walked my dog. We are drinking some Celsius, and we are best ball drafting. I'm hoping to do about 5 drafts today. So good, so good. Sorry if you hear my dog kind of run around. He's kind of going a little nuts. He wants more food, but he can't have any of his good stuff, so he's kind of a whine baby. So he might be pretty active. As if you guys hear what it sounds like a horse running across the hardwood floor, that's probably him. It's not probably, it is him. He's a monster. We have the 8th pick over here. Oh, somebody must have got out of line because this is weird. JT early on, okay. That's all right. I would take CMC at this spot, even though I am downgrading CMC in my rankings. Now the question is, do I want to do Amon? I've gotten a lot of JJ lately, so I think I'm going to take Amon here. I have downgraded CMC in my rankings. Unfortunately, I think Deebo Samuel, it does hurt his possibility in the red zone. For those who don't remember, I think Deebo had like 8 rushing touchdowns one season, which is funny enough whenever I think Mike McDaniel was there. I think that was his most productive season. I think that's right. Maybe that wasn't right. Now I'm thinking about it. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe Mike McDaniel wasn't there. But he did have 8 rush touchdowns with CMC in the backfield. I know that was for sure thing. So I'm a little bit concerned with CMC's production, although you could make a case that he is going to get more reception. Also, Deebo Samuel does catch a lot of balls behind the line of scrimmage. That's kind of Deebo saying. He's like the after catch guy, and he packed on a few pounds, so he does have the ability to kind of be the power back in that offense. They're also going to be bringing I think Jordan James and Kalen Black in the squad in the depth chart. I don't think Kalen Black is going to have a role, but I do think that Jordan James is probably going to get spelled in a little bit. But we always are concerned about CMC's snap percentage, and it just never goes down. It's incredible. If I get Barkley here, that would be incredible. If not, I would probably favor Brock Bowers. I'm trying to pump my bags on Brock Bowers. If you've seen any of my drafts lately, I just made the mistake of not taking him early on. I don't think I fully understood the Clint Kubiak effect. If you take a look at the people that Clint Kubiak has coached, it's impressive. I mean, some of the guys had just their best teams. You're talking, I think Justin Jefferson was one of them. He had one of his best years ever with Clint Kubiak. Who else was it? Was it Brandon Ayuk? I think it was Brandon Ayuk. I think Brandon Ayuk had his best season with them. Jerry Jeudy's like 8 touchdown season. That was under Clint Kubiak. I think he was like the pass game coordinator or something like that. Or maybe a specialist, something like that. I don't think he was a coordinator for, I think it was Denver. Maybe it was Miami. I can't remember. It's hard to keep track of. But Clint Kubiak, he is very one wide receiver friendly. Lights to target the same guy over and over. And of course, he had Jason last year, who was the number 1 fantasy option. I believe it was number 1 in most. He was the offensive player of the year, so I assume he was number 1. But Puka and him might have been really close. So we start with Brock Bowers and Amon. Whenever I start off like this, I kind of have to go 2 I feel obligated to go 2 running back and a wide receiver. Kind of could throw out. We can throw out QBs. At this point, I'm glad that I'm pumping my bag of Brock Bowers, but it seems like every draft now I'm getting Brock Bowers because I just don't have good options. Barkley would have been fantastic. I don't like taking Rashee Rice in 18. I don't like taking A.J. Brown in 19. Both these guys were in 3rd rounds at one point. I don't like losing that much ADP. There are going to be a lot of teams that have those guys in the 3rd round, so I'm really not taking those guys in the 2nd round. It's not that I don't think they're worth it. I just think that other people got better values with it. Same can be said about Malik Neighbors. I took some shares in the 30s and some in the 40s. So I feel good on my bag with Neighbors. I'm probably not going to take him anymore during this cycle because he's probably going to keep getting pushed into the 2nd round. The 2nd round is just really weak at wide receiver. And I think guys like George Pickens, I think Nico Collins will eventually be pushed out of the third round if he's not already. Maybe he is already. He's like 24.2. I would guess he's going to fall to like 26, 27 very soon. That would be my guess. I think Malik Neighbors is probably going to overtake him if he hasn't already. Yeah, he's getting close to it. But Malik Neighbors was going second round before the concern with his knee came about, man. And now I'm starting to hate that I got Brock Bowers because Trey McBride is looking sexy right there. We could have had Trey. We might have been able to get Trey here, which feels bad. Feels bad. The question is, would I take Trey if it falls to me? Good. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. That is concerning. Did it start back? I like to see if it started running back behind me. Only one team did, so if we want a running back, we should take one here. I'm indifferent to it. Jeremiah Love would be a dream, but I don't think I'm going to get him. I'd be shocked if this guy went anybody other than Jeremiah Love. There's just not a lot of options. Ibuka is an option. Ooh, we are going to get Jeremiah Love. Cool. Jeremiah Love and Brock Bowers start. Feels really good. Week 17 matchup, and it's two pieces that I really like. I can go Mendoza later on. That really makes it easy on me. Mendoza has been falling down the depth charts. I think people understand now that Kirk is going to start for them at the beginning of the season, but it's probably not going to go well, for being honest. I need to take a look at that schedule. I haven't actually looked at it. It's good to kind of have an idea of when a guy is going to take over. But I think it's inevitable that he will take over. I don't think Kirk Cousins has much left in the tank. And I don't think they're going to win many games beforehand. I think they're projected, I want to say 5.5 wins this season, I think is what I saw. They're definitely the worst team in that division. It's a tough time to be bad in that division. I mean, the Chiefs are the third best team in that division now. And I have my own opinion on that. I think that they will probably bounce back, but I am from St. Louis, so maybe that's a little bit of bias. I don't know. Over here, I kind of like going Luther Burden whenever I get him on, but I don't know that I'm going to do that here. I kind of am leaning Garrett Wilson. Javonte is not a bad deal. Josh Jacobs is a fair price. Garrett Wilson, I feel like, is still worth it to take here. We'll keep pumping some bags on Garrett Wilson. I wonder what my exposure. I'm going to take a look at that while we're waiting. I don't want to pull it up on screen, but I will let you guys know where I'm at with him. If you've never done best balls, if you're really maxing out like I'm going to be doing, you kind of want to build a portfolio. You don't want to get overexposed to anybody. A great case of that is I was overexposed to Chris Brazzell because I was planning on not taking him at all. I took him a bunch because I thought, at the end of training camp, Chris Brazzell is probably going to be the second wide receiver for Carolina, or at least it's going to be hinted that he might be. And, of course, he got carted off a few days ago in training camp, and his season is done, and I had 21% of them. And, I mean, it is going to shrink because I think I have almost 60 drafts left, maybe 55 drafts left. And that percentage is going to come down, but it's probably going to come down to like 16 or 17%. So I'm going to be overexposed to him no matter what I do at this point. I'm curious where my Garrett Wilson bags are at this point. 10% right now on Garrett Wilson. I don't know if he is going to go down. He's one of those guys. I'm using established run rankings, who I very much agree with. If you've ever been serious about fantasy football, established to run is God tier, in my opinion. Adam Levitan I have followed for probably 7 or 8 years. I was following him whenever he wrote for, I think he just wrote for Roto Grinders, but he did some a Friday show with Evan Silva and JM to Win, and I watched that religiously. And then I followed him whenever he went to JM to Win's website. I didn't really like JM to Win's website. No offense to JM to Win, but I just didn't really like he's like an alternative thinker, I would say. It's more tournament centric, and I'm not really a tournament player, more of a cash game player than anything. And then I do other stuff. So I liked whenever Levitan branched out, went to his own thing, established to run. I linked on to established to run, and it's been my go-to every single year. I love their rankings. The last 2 winners of Best Ball have won from his rankings, using his rankings. They also offer the solver with their rankings. I think they own a percentage of the solver, I believe, which is a really nice tool if you are best balling. If you don't know week 17 matchups or the playoff matches in general, I think it'll really help you. It'll also help you with not getting overexposed and stuff. I'm just a little more in tune to that stuff. I kind of have it all kind of memorized. I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of free time It's just me and my dog who is panting behind me. I wonder if you guys can hear that. Let me see if I pull it up on OBS. Nah, you guys can't hear it. That's no fun. He wore himself out chasing I don't know what he had, some kind of chew toy. So if it comes back to me, Davante Adams is an obvious choice. I don't know that we're going to get that choice. So Jameis is an option. Get both Jameis and Amon St. Brown. Not against that. DeAndre Swift is also an option. I think I would probably go Swift if it's if Davante isn't there. I think that would be my go-to. It'd be a pretty decent price on DeAndre Swift. Also get that Week 17 stack that I want. I draft all my teams as if I'm going to the finals, by the way. I don't know if you guys have watched any of my stuff yet. But I draft every single team like I am going to be in the Week 17 finals. I think that's the best way to play it. We can't help what's going to happen to get us there. I have had weaker teams make the finals. I have made 4 finals. I've done it 4 years, and I made 4 finals. Every single year, I produce at least one team in the finals. Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't do a season long one year. I did a playoff one year, and I made it to the finals for the playoffs. So slightly different there. But I have made the finals every single year that I have maxed out one of these things, and it's never been the team that I expected. Funny enough, it's literally never been what I would consider my best team. Week 16, I'm pretty in tune with the teams I've left. It's kind of narrowed down, so it's kind of easier to understand. I've even did expectations for them before. I've done projections for them before using ETRs, expected like point totals, and just kind of saw like, oh, what's the best team I can produce here? It was literally never been the best team. And one year it was like a really bad team that I thought had zero chance in Week 17, and yeah, it did min cash. I've never won big money though, unfortunately. Hopefully this year breaks that. All right, let's start. Stop yapping and start drafting. Trayvon Henderson's still on the board, which is kind of fun. I might consider doing that. I don't want to fall too far behind at wide receiver. I haven't taken Cardinal Tate since before the draft. This might be my spot. BTJ I like. Marvin Marv. You know, I'm kind of indifferent to Marvin Marv. I have a chance to get Brian Thomas in 65, which isn't happening very often. So I'm tempted to do that, but I think this is just going to be Trayvon Henderson. I think Trayvon is too nice of a price to pass up here. Yeah, give me Trayvon Henderson. We'll hope to get either BTJ or Marvin Harrison on the way back, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's possible that Jordan Tyson falls, but I don't see that happening as much often anymore. Oftentimes, I'll just go ahead and predict it. DK Metcalf is going to be my highest ranked player whenever we get up there. DK Metcalf tends to never go in this range, and I end up with more DK Metcalf than I really want because I'm actually bigger on Michael Pittman this year. I do think he is going to outscore him. DK Metcalf is better for best ball, I think, because he has spike weeks. He's going to have spike weeks. I think Michael Pittman will outscore him, but DK Metcalf will have more, let's say, what's like a spike week for DK Metcalf? Let's say 22 points. I'd say DK Metcalf is going to have more 22-point weeks than Michael Pittman, even though Michael Pittman will absolutely outscore him. Not by like a crazy amount. I think one will be like 13 points, and then the other will probably be 12, something like that. Or did DK Metcalf? Yeah, just about 12.5. I think that's very likely. But yeah, he's going to have some spike weeks, some 20, 25-point weeks, whatever. Somewhere in that range. I don't know that Michael Pittman is going to have a single 100-yard reception week. I expect him to be the intermediate guy in that offense. But he'll also be competing with Pat Freiermuth, who does some intermediate stuff. And I am kind of big on Pat Freiermuth's price. I'm also big on Michael Pittman, to be fair. Not that I'm against Michael Pittman at all. That's part of the reason why I don't want to take DK Metcalf, because I'm taking more Michael Pittman. We would love BTJ and Jordan Tyson to stay on this board. I typically get my wide receiver in this spot, and then it's QB time. In this particular, I don't think we need a QB anytime soon. Caleb already went. Jared Goff is like 104 range. This could be a Brock Purdy team. I do like to do that. Brock Purdy's like a really fun guy to get in the hundreds whenever you don't have a stacking partner yet, because the only ones that went off the board was Mike Evans and CMC. You could backstack them with guys like Deebo Samuel, Deshaun Stribling, who had some hamstring tightness, so he might be going a little bit cheaper right now. He has a Q by his name. I don't think it's serious, though. Christian Kirk is going like the 20th round, and now that we're seeing all these injuries happen, Ricky Pearsall is out for the year, so you could see Kirk make an impact, particularly if Deshaun Stribling does have injury issues. Jordan Tyson's still there. I would love Jordan Tyson to make it to me. That's a dream. But as I predicted, Quinn Johnston, who I haven't taken in ages, maybe he will be there. I might be willing to spend on him. I don't know for sure. That's true. But as I predicted, it is probably going to be DK Metcalf. It's just always DK Metcalf in this range, unfortunately. I've considered moving his rank up just because I'm tired of seeing him there, and I end up taking him here all the time. But there's just no options. I mean, look at these options. We could take naked quarterbacks. All right. We take some naked quarterbacks. Or we could take our fourth running back, which I don't love. I mean, RJ Harvey is whatever, indifferent to him. And then Metcalf is there. And then whenever I need tight end, sometimes I take a tight end, but I do like having a premium tight end. That is like the easiest way to get a separator. I'm tempted to take Quentin Johnson just because I'm tired of taking DK Metcalf. But I think I'm going to take DK Metcalf. I'm just not that big on Quentin Johnston here. So give me DK. Even though I'm not super into DK Metcalf, it is a good price on DK Metcalf. I cannot argue that. 80th ADP is pretty good for a guy that's going to have at least 5 or 6 usable weeks. And then 2 of them very good weeks would be my guess. And he gets a nice little Week 17 matchup. He could score 30 points that Week 17 matchup. Very possible. Gets the awful Tennessee Titans, who will probably be tanking at that point. Maybe they get his name is Jabari Smith. I think that's what it is for OSU. The guy who was the ace whenever Carnell Tate was there. He's a guy who outperformed Carnell Tate last year. It'd be funny if they got him also. I don't think I'm taking a QB here. I don't think so. No real point 2. No interest in Chuba Hubbard. I think we are taking a wide receiver, and that wide receiver is probably going to be Josh Downs. Don't like taking Pickman and DK Metcalf. I can avoid that, and then Addison would be my only other option. I think it's just going to be Josh Downs. Get our 4th wide receiver and a potential stacking partner later on for a quarterback. I like that because right now my quarterbacks are looking like Francisco Mendoza. I absolutely need, I would say, for this team. Carson Beck would be the backup plan if that doesn't work out, but I would like Francisco Mendoza. Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff. Jared Goff would be probably my best, probably best QB for this team. It's just I don't have any of the stud wide receivers to fill the spots, and that's what I was saying. I could take Brock Purdy, who I'm not against taking by any means, but it was a little bit above ADP. Backstacking Kyler Murray, not Kyler Murray, but looking at Kyler Murray, backstacking Brock Purdy doesn't feel bad at all. So I am indifferent to doing that. T-Law and Stafford. So Stafford, I think, is going to fall to the late 90s. I think this is my 3rd or 4th draft the last 2 days, and Stafford has been in the 90s every single time, been in the late 90s every single time. So I think that's probably where he's going to fall now as we see more recreational players joining. I think that's kind of a mistake. I mean, MVP. I could not imagine taking Joe Burrow whenever let me just say more shit, because like I said, I'm maxing out teams. I'm going to have Joe Burrow. Let's just make that clear. But I'm going to have probably 3 or 5% of Joe Burrow because of the price. I'm going to have 12-15% of Matthew Stafford. Like, I can make a case for getting Matthew Stafford right here. Just grab Terrence Ferguson, maybe CJ Daniels. Puka's already having back issues, which is probably the reason why, by the way, he's moving back. People are concerned with Puka. which I kind of get, but it is early on. Puka has been a head case though, and I think that's part of the problem also. Do I want to take Jared Goff here? Is the question. Is there anybody that I feel like is like just a must-have? I'm probably going to go with no on that. I don't care about Chuba anymore. I have more Chuba than I'm happy about. I need to start drafting Jonathan Brooks. Yeah, it's going to be Jared Goff. It's man, it feels bad taking Jared Goff before Matt Stafford because I know Matt Stafford is so much better than him. But this is just best ball. We need the correlation. I'd rather have the correlated Jared Goff than the Matthew Stafford, who is absolutely a better play. But he's uncorrelated, and you get to week 17 without Puka or Devontae Adams. Good luck. I don't think he's going to be a factor come week 17, and as I said, I draft all my teams like they are going to be in the finals. So we're going 113. I don't really need QBs anytime soon. It's probably going to be Gainwell, I think. I think it's a good price on Gainwell. Let me just take a look. Tight ends, Kelsey, Goddard, Kincaid. I do like the idea of going Kincaid, but this is going to be Gainwell. It's a really good price on Gainwell. Just make sure there's no news on Gainwell. I know training camps are starting right now. Always get a little. Yeah, I mean, if Gainwell can get the red zone work, even some kind of red zone work, he's going to be very, very valuable. But regardless, he's going to have a nice floor because he is going to get the pass game work. He's getting the full. I think he gets the full Rashad White roll plus. I think he's absolutely going to eat into Bucky Irving, which is why we're seeing Bucky Irving price come down. And Gainwell's price going up. Don't get Gainwell in the 110s very often anymore, so it's hard to pass up. My fourth running back. I want to be done taking running backs around 150. And you really see a steep drop off. I'm okay with getting like one guy in the 170s, maybe two guys in 170s. But after 170s and the 180s, I do not want to take any running back. Those guys are pure dust balls, probably zeros. Herzig, no, wasn't Herzig. I think it's Jack Johnson, who also works for ETR, but he has his own website, I believe. I think he put out that week 18, he compared week 18 wide receivers to week 18 running backs, and the week 18 wide receivers have far significant advance rates. It's because running backs just often get zeros. Matthew Stafford is still here at 91. I mean, it's to the point now that I'm going to take Matthew Stafford. Like, what are we doing? That is crazy that somebody got that crazy a value on him. Who got him? I'm curious. Who finally took him? I mean, it's just too good of a price. I don't blame him. He doesn't have a QB right now, and he's going to get Matthew Stafford at 120, the MVP of the league at 120. What a deal. Yeah, this team's pretty good because of that. And he took Jordan Love too. He took naked Jordan Love. Naked Jordan Love is crazy. I don't know what we're doing. I've seen more naked Jordan Loves than any QB. I don't know what's happening, but that needs to stop. That is a growing trend. Growing trend of mistakes. I could take Aaron Jones, but I'm leaning Casey Concepcion and potentially getting Danny Dimes. Strengthen the QBs. I'm indifferent to doing Geno Smith, but if I got Aaron Jones, that would be the plan. I would plan to take Geno Smith later. That would be the plan, but I think Concepcion is my my better play. I'd rather have Concepcion here. Get the week 17 stacking partner with Josh Downs, and we should be able to get Danny Dimes with that 137 pick. Fun, I've done so many drafts that I kind of know where to go. I don't even need to look where we're going. I'm like, it's probably going to be there. Pretty confident he's got to be there. Just double check nobody did anything crazy. He's still there. Yeah, it's going to be Concepcion here. And if for some reason Danny Dimes isn't there on my next pick, I will probably, if Aaron Jones is still there, I would probably go Aaron Jones. But Danny Dimes definitely might go to here. If it doesn't work out, I could do a Malik Willis team. Malik Willis price getting cheaper. I love. I'm gonna end up getting more Malik Willis. I wonder what my exposure on Malik Willis is. Danny Dimes is my most owned quarterback, by the way. It's nice. I like Josh Downs a lot. I like Tyler Warren a lot. Condensed offense. Alex Pierce is already starting off with an injury. Very condensed offense with A.D. Mitchell and Michael Pittman gone. we are getting better prices on Josh Downs and Danny Dimes, even though we know Danny Dimes did well for at least 8 of the 10 weeks that he played last year. But still, we're getting a better price on him. It feels wrong. It feels like the market is getting that one wrong right now. Maybe it'll change. If Daniel Dimes has a good preseason, it probably will change. If Josh Downs shows that he is going to play on the outside, he's going to play in the 2 wide receiver sets, which I think is going to happen. You might see his ADP continue to come down. I don't know where it would go. You know, I have that DK Metcalf problem. I could see Josh Downs making his way down to the 80s, honestly. I could see that. Because that range just sucks. And everybody's looking for a player to come down there. Everybody, you just can't take wide receivers where he's going. It sucks. That late 80s range, well, it's more like late 70s, mid 80s. Because Pittman and Josh Downs are going to come down to the low 90s. I think Pittman's already there. Josh Downs is getting there. He's at like 96 right now. They're absolutely going to keep coming down from there. I'm confident of that. So this is going to be Daniel Dimes. Aaron Jones is still there. So if Aaron Jones is there whenever it comes back, I will probably be snagging him. But for now, we're going to take Dimes. No brainer. Don't even need to look at anybody else. Let's start looking at some teams. Start judging people's teams. I kind of started looking over here. I don't think he has much correlation. He does have Jordan Love and Kraft. He ended up with Stafford, which I don't blame him for taking. It's not bad, but yeah, like I said, no correlation, no week 17 stacks yet for him, and I don't know how he's going to get there. We'd have to take like Jalen McMillan or Ted Hurst for Tampa Bay, maybe Kate Otten, but I would think you're going to go tight ends if you do get a naked Matthew Stafford. Almost certainly going to get Terrence Ferguson, Colby Parkinson, or Tyler Higbee. I feel like my voice just changed. That is not the mic doing that, by the way. My voice just like randomly changed. My voice wants food. That's what it wants. I need to get a banana. Over here, I think we're seeing the Week 17 stack coming. With the Brock Purdy, we saw him take Dallas Goedert. That, to me, says that he's setting up the Week 17. Brian Thomas, T-Law. You're seeing... I would say my drafts last night also, it was much sharper than I expected. I mean, are we getting to the point where the recreational players are more in tune with how to draft winning teams? What if it's the play to get off the board now? What if that is the world we're living in? If everyone's too sharp that you actually need to do crazy stuff? What if that is the world? It is possible. Sorry, yawning. Even with my Celsius yawning. So I didn't take Jalen McMillan, which is weird. If I was him, I definitely would have taken Jalen McMillan there to set up the Week 17 stack. So I don't think he knows what Week 17 stacks are. I'm going to go on and let him say that. This guy taking 3 tight ends. He has 3 old tight ends. Kincaid isn't old, but he feels old. Should he be doing that? Wide receiver room is getting a little thin. Little thin. And then he passes up tight end again. Okay. Alright, almost our pick. We'll stop playing around. Just curious on what people are drafting. Don't see anything crazy. It looks all pretty standard. Aaron Jones is gone, unfortunately, so we're not going to be getting him. Take Pacheco and get some insurance. It's kind of unusual to have Pacheco, Swift, and then Amon. That is kind of an unusual thing. The other option is Omar Cooper or Juwan Jennings. I'll queue those guys up because those guys make way more sense. Am I getting do I have 2 quarterbacks? I do have 2 quarterbacks already, so I don't need both. I'm probably getting Mendoza. I don't think I need any of these guys. Maybe I'm taking Pacheco. Did I get him? I don't think I got him in time. No. That's fine, honestly. I'm okay with getting Mark Cooper. It feels weird because I don't think I'm going to take 3 quarterbacks here, and I do want Mendoza, but it is a backup plan to have, I guess. Is a little bit of a backup plan. Make sure that we're getting one of those guys. But either way, Omar Cooper is going to have some spike week, so I don't mind having him at all. I think he's just going to be a massive downfield receiver, constantly taking the top all the defense, and by the nature of the position, he's going to haul in a couple balls of one game and score 20 points. Whenever he's not scoring 20 points, we have our Josh Downs to make up for it. And I'll probably take another old head as we get closer to the end of the draft, a Calvin Ridley type. I'm not taking much Cooper Kupp anymore, but Cooper Kupp before we thought that Shaheed was going to be number 2, and Torrey Holton looked like he was possibly going to be worked in. I think Cooper Kupp might be the 4 over there. Imagine the guy who led in targets in the Super Bowl is going to be the number 4. What a world! What a world we are living in. So I'm not going to take Mendoza here. Sorry, guys. Voice is already starting to go this early. Those are bad. Tajay Spears. Do I take Tajay Spears? I do have Metcalf, so I set a little mini game correlation there. It does make sense a little bit. We do need to start getting more running backs. We do need to fill our running backs in. As I said, I don't want to take more than one guy after 170. So I am going to take Tajay Spears. Go with the DK Metcalf week. Maybe DK Metcalf just goes off. He scores, 40 points ideally. And then, well, hopefully that score 40 points, because then Aaron Rodgers is going to be useful, and we're not going to have Aaron Rodgers on this team, I don't think. Although we do set up a week 17 stack for it, so it is possible. But I think the next pick is going to be Francisco Mendoza. And if Mendoza isn't there, it's probably going to be Geno's. This is where Geno goes, right? I haven't looked at ADP in a while. 181. Yeah. Well, hard to complain. I get it. I'm kind of on board with it. Not very good at football. Was there? I think there was a year where he led in a QB percentage. Probably enough. I think one of the years with Seattle. I think that's what happened. Maybe his first year with Seattle. I don't know if that was what. I assume that's not what Clint Kubiak. I assume. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Clint Kubiak wasn't there yet. I don't know where he got promoted from, though. He might have been the offensive coordinator. I don't remember. Hi, puppy. Hi, Panther. Crazy. Brian Robinson getting cheaper is surprising. I would have thought Brian Robinson is going to start coming down to 170s. If we get to the preseason games and he's actually mixing in, people are going to start pushing him up. I think if it even looks slightly like he's going to take the Tyler Algier role, I think his bags are going to pump it up. Kind of have a unusual situation where I might consider trying to send Mendoza and Geno through. If Juwan Jennings is still there, I'm okay with getting either of those guys, either Geno or Mendoza. I'd be tempted to send those guys through, but these guys are desperate in the back, I think. These guys still need. I think these guys still need some QBs back there, so I think I probably shouldn't risk that, unfortunately. I think it's just going to be Mendoza here. I will consider Jennings, so if it does fall. Fine, Jennings finally goes. Still don't have my second tight end, so I probably should do that. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to do 3 tight ends at this point. Pump it up. 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 185 is where we are picking at next. If B-Rob's still there, I might go ahead and take B-Rob. He'll be the last running back I would be taking. I think that makes sense. Is there anybody else that I should be considering getting? Would be an option with Daniel Jones. Like Washington, I'm not really taking any of. I'm kind of done with them. Cyrus Island going 185. People are confident in that it's just a shin bruise. I'm shocked to see Cyrus Island go that early, though. Man, KC does this every single year. Their rookie wide receiver always just moons. But their rookie wide receivers generally don't do a whole lot. I mean, Xavier Worthy did, all right. Rasheed Rice had a good season, but I think he did get injured. I don't remember. Maybe he was healthy Maybe he was healthy the full season. But like, what was the other guy who played on San Francisco too? I can't think of his name. He was a punt returner. I actually went to a game and I saw him fumble at the game against the Rams. But I can't think of his dang name. I can remember all that about him. I can't remember his dang name. But he was taking like second round. He got pumped up too, and he ended up doing nothing. McCole Hardman, obviously. Ugh. Anyone that remembers the McCole Hardman sitch, that was fun. They always just have like a rookie who gets pumped up. Go way above market. And in a time where I think we were getting good prices on all the Kansas City guys for the first time in ages. I mean, Mahomes going in the hundreds, Xavier Worthy 110, Kelsey 120. Rasheed Rice you could get cheap before the news came out that nothing was going to come of all the stuff that he's going through off field. But you could get him in the 30s. Sometimes he even creeped into the 40s. What a dream. And then you started like these rookies now getting pumped up. That's the recreational player, I think. That is definitely the recreational guys coming in and putting their stamp on the drafts. Aeneas Williams, I would be tempted to take here. Rip Pearsall. I need his ADP to fall even further. Although it'll auto draft off my ranking, so he'll never be there. I was thinking for a second, I was like, wait a minute. If I ever auto pick, it might end up with him where he's going, but never mind. It goes based off of rankings. I don't know what I was thinking. Clearly, I don't auto pick very often. So it's either tight end or wide receiver here. Let's start taking a look at that. I think Aeneas Williams is a really nice value here. Okay, I keep calling him Aeneas Williams for the Rams and Arizona Cardinals years ago. Antonio Williams. Okay, sorry. Know why I'm confusing the two. Dalton Schultz, who I have no shares of, like absolutely none. Kate Otten, indifferent to. Maybe that's a Dalton Schultz team. Maybe. Kind of weird. They don't have the same. They don't have the same bye week. So I actually am going to take Dalton Schultz, the cheapest price I've ever gotten on him, which makes sense because I don't know how many shares I have, very few shares of him. So at this price, it's just too good to pass up. Who are going to be my late round stacks? I don't even know. Detroit, the Tesla's already gone. Chicago, I could get Xavier Thomas, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Indy doesn't really have anybody. I already have Casey Concepcion, so I don't need another bring back. Mendoza. Back from Mendoza? Not really. Yeah, I can kind of go wherever I want with this back draft. I don't want another Pittsburgh player, but I am tempted to take Freiermuth. I'm very tempted. But I think I'm going to pass on that. I'm still strong because I have Brock Bowers at tight end, so I don't need much more. I think this is going to be a wide receiver. Maybe this is Elijah Surratt. Is Elijah Surratt still available? Okay, yeah, Surratt still available. That's probably going to be where I go. I want to pump my bags on Surratt. I do like him a lot. I'm going to go ahead and say right now, Elijah Surratt or Jacoby Lane is going to be moved into round 18 at some point. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Once we get to the games and everybody learns who they are, once we get to preseason, a lot of these rookies are finally going to start moving up. So I'm trying to take as many of them as possible. Same with Malachi Fields. Malachi Fields is probably going to play a lot of one of the games, maybe in the first game, and that's going to drive his price up. But right now, nobody really knows who he is. Once you start to create momentum, it just takes one guy every single draft to move somebody up. That's kind of the secret people don't explain to you. Not everybody's consensus has to change on them. Just one guy believing in the player moves the market on them in these in the back half of the draft, because round 18 is whatever. You're not getting some kind of like super play. Nobody knew really who Puka Nacua was until preseason. And then he didn't get moved up that far either. It was like round 19 at the latest. So no one really saw that coming, if we're being perfectly honest. That was possible. That's why you saw him drafted. And you're going to start seeing steam like that on Elijah Surratt and Jacoby Lane, I'm sure. But Baltimore needs a second wide receiver. Needs a second option, honestly. I don't think Mark Andrews is going to be the second option. He's a little old. We are definitely going to take a cough drop before my next draft. I am going to be recording more drafts today. Might put a few of them on YouTube, even though I don't think they're going to do very well. But I just enjoy doing it. So why not do it and talk about my decision making beforehand? I didn't talk much about my decision going in here. I think I'm probably too distracted, so I will probably start doing that very soon. Probably do the next draft. Probably be funner, honestly. I'll be more awake, more alert, more know what I'm looking for. Mo better. Indifferent to taking like Gesicki. I think he will have spike weeks because of the offense. I am picking more Dawson Knox than I am proud of, but I'm gonna queue both those guys up. I could take Cole Kmet also. Yeah, we're kind of getting weak over at tight end. I feel like I'm gonna take these guys last, right? No reason to take these guys here. I think this is Malachi Fields, right? Typically take Malachi Fields in this spot, and I'm not too strong on him yet. Although I'm getting up there. Javon Walker. That's a blast from the past. I can't even pull that up. Oh god, my entire thing's gonna freeze because I did that. Oh god, it's freezing. Well, we're probably gonna get tight end by the time I get back there, by the way. Whoops. That's why we used a queue at least. So at least we're not gonna be totally blown. Oh, where do I need to go? I need to go contest. You're seeing live action of what happens whenever you try to do too many things while record a video with a PC that has a 1080 Ti in it. Let's remove Dawson Knox. We did get Gesicki there. That is fine. Not that big of a deal. We are going to load up Malachi Fields. Do I want to start taking Torrey Horton? Not really, to be honest. DeAndre Hopkins being shown as a Baltimore Raven is a mistake, I'm pretty sure. Didn't he? He went to Georgia Tech coaching staff. Had a very good career, did DeAndre Hopkins. Very quiet career, but very good career. I don't know that he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I think he'll be borderline Hall of Famer. Definitely not going to get in on the first try, I don't think. But I'd be surprised if he didn't get in, honestly. A very good career. Xavier Thomas, I'm going to load up, but I don't think I'm going to take Xavier Thomas. 5. Just kind of going on all the guys I would consider taking here. It is definitely going to be a wide receiver, and we are in the 400 rank, so we are definitely going to be taking one of these guys. Just curious of who made it out. Ajay Giddens. It's just going to be Malachi Fields or Xavier Thomas. Which one do I want? I don't have any shares of Xavier Thomas, and I do have that Week 17 matchup already. All I have is DeAndre Swift from it. You know what? What if we dare dream? Let's take Xavier Thomas. Alright, so that is going to be the draft. Let's go over a quick review of what we got here. I'm sorry I was distracted, but Amon, Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, Josh Downs, Casey Concepcion, Mark Cooper, and Elijah Surratt and Xavier Thomas at wide receiver. Not too shabby at wide receiver. Feel pretty good about that. I think running back is probably my strongest. Jeremiah Love, DeAndre Swift, Trevon Henderson, Gainwell, Tyjae Spears, and B Rob. No zeros in that. I don't think there's any zeros in that. I love that for us. I love that. Tight end, Brock Bowers, Dalton Schultz, Jasicki. Obviously, it's just heavy reliant on Brock Bowers. If you're taking Brock Bowers, you might as well treat him like he's going to be in just about every week. I typically only take 2 tight ends, but because I waited so long to take my second tight end, I didn't bother. I wanted a third one just in case. And then QB is the weakest part of this team. Jared Goff, who has a very clean schedule, but he is outdoors for the last 2 weeks. That is the negative about Garrett Wilson, or about Jared Goff. So that part about Jared Goff I don't love. Danny Dimes, he's my most owned quarterback just for the price. It's too good to pass up. And I would say like a lot of, I think this is going to be a common play for the Sharps. It's just too good of a price at 137. He's like the very last of the QBs who don't jobs probably aren't getting taken, who have a pretty clean schedule and have a good offense. It makes too much sense. Francisco Mendoza, just speculation play. We had the Brock Bowers and Jeremiah Love to start early. We wanted to get Mendoza, and we ended up getting it. So that is the team. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's solid. I don't think it's bad. We didn't get anybody doing anything crazy. I might wait another hour to do another draft, and I'll just upload this in the meantime because I want better teams. That's the whole idea of drafting on Sundays. We get exposure to weaker players, but maybe it's too early. Maybe they're not awake yet. But yeah, we'll go and upload this, and I will see you guys in the next draft, which will be coming soon. Bye-bye.